What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconero Zone for a daily video, an update on what has been happening the last couple of hours. And in the grand scheme of things, okay, something happened, but not the big move. Like the things that are happening now, we all were kind of expecting to happen a month ago, but it's not. It's happening now. Um, so we're gonna talk about that, obviously, and what it could mean for the next 3 weeks in the transfer market. A bit more like, let's say, almost 4 weeks in the transfer market. But yeah, before we do that, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Okay, so the first bit of news, as you can see on the thumbnail, basically, is Zakaria, because his deal is finally moving to be completed. I'm gonna say finally moving to be completed because it's not completed. So according to Di Marzio, he says Juve and Monaco have an agreement for Zakaria. The fee will be around the 20 million euros, and then he also added that the only thing that's missing now is Zakaria agreeing with Monaco. Like he's opened up to a move to Monaco. It's not that he said no. It's just they need to find an agreement on the contract, basically. That's what's missing at this point. Um, I'm not going to assume the deal is going to get done because I think we all assumed the West Ham deal was getting done because that's how it was being reported. I remember Mirko Di Natale saying, and that's why I've said it at the time. I said that's one of the worst bit of reporting I've seen in a very long time because he said the deal is closed between Juve, Zakaria, and West Ham. Juve won 20 million or something, an obligation to buy, and West Ham are offering 15 and an option. I'm like, that's not even close. You cannot be further away. Like valuation and an obligation or an option, that's a completely different thing. So at that point, I was like, that deal is not going to happen because it's not close. It will never be close at this point. But Monaco ready to buy him completely, no option, just buy, which is good. We need to get rid of a lot of players. We need to get rid of the players who should not be at this club or like who have been loaned out because we have a habit, or you might call it a sickness at this point, that we loan out players because they're not good enough or we don't want them, and somehow, some way, they end up at the club and they stay. De Sciglio, Rugani, McKennie, it's crazy, but it's happening. It makes no sense. I don't even know as a player how you can stay at that point because it's weird because you got told you're not good enough, move, and then you come back for what good reason? Like I don't get it, but that's what we do as a club. It's terrible, but that's who we are basically. So we need to get rid of these players. My issue is I think was expecting this to be done a month ago, but it could be 20 million, 20 of the potential 40 million that's on the table now. That the club need, and I'm not even worried about the money or not thinking about the money because that money is probably not going to be reinvested. Looking at our situation, I'm just like, I don't want these players to come back every single summer because there's an option in the deal, whatever. Like if you get rid, get rid. It is what it is. But let's see. That could be a close deal. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen because I thought at the beginning that West Ham deal was gonna happen. So no, but 20 million, around 20 million, that's a very fair price. If it was the Premier League, I was looking for something between 25. Is it worth that? Probably not, but I don't care. They buy players. They love to burn money, so burn it. But Sakaria close to being done, basically. Now the deal that I have an issue with is Pellegrini because he has offers from Nice and Fulham, clubs that could pay what we want, and somehow he wants to go back to Lazio where he didn't play under Sarri at all. So that speaks a lot about his ambition as well. They're back in talks, and there's optimism that this deal can be done. It doesn't sound good, You cannot deal with Lotito. If you want to buy a player, it's his way or the highway. If we deal with Lazio, it's always still Lotito's way, and I hate it. Like, I want this club to act like a big club and tell Lazio, pay the 8 million euros, because it's nothing. 8 million euros is nothing. Like, if you're not going to pay 8 million euros as a club, then what are we doing? No, then you tell Pellegrini, you go to Nice, accept that Nice bid, or you're just not going to play. Like, it is what it is. Or you tell Lazio to pay up that 8 million euros, basically. So my fear is it will be another option, another loan with an option to buy, and it's not even going to be 8 million euros. So, like, that's my fear at this moment in time, because that's how Lazio deals, and that's how they've been moving with the Pellegrini deal all summer long, basically. He's not even in training, Pellegrini. You don't see anything about him as well. So a very strange situation. I was hoping he was going to Nice, because at that point I knew we were getting the money and he was never coming back. But the Lazio deal, again, there's no real news on is it going to be an option, whatever, loan. But I can bet probably a lot of money on it that it's going to be something like that. So not excited, but it is what it is, I guess, and hopefully somehow, I don't know how, by any sort of miracle, it will be an obligation and they buy him. But at this point, I don't believe that for one bit. So that could be potentially another 8 million. And what could make up for close to 40 million euros is De Winter, because Di Macho is reporting that it's getting closer that he can join Genoa on loan with an obligation to buy for around 10 million euros. Is that fee too low? Yes, but we're selling to Genoa. Like, what's left to talk about? We are selling to Genoa, so that's the money you're gonna get. Like, it is what it is. If you were selling to Sassuolo, you could have got a bit more, but you're selling to Genoa, and that's what you're dealing with. So I'm okay with moving on the winter, but I would have had, like, we add a buyback option for so many random players, where you sit back and you look like, why? Like, they're not good enough. There's not a sparkle hope that they will explode and you can buy them back. There isn't, and the list goes on. With this, just add that option to buy and maybe knock 2 million off the price to satisfy Genoa and set that obligation fairly on a fair price. It's quick money, but it doesn't feel right. Like, considering our situation, we have Bonucci going out, Rugani finally, hopefully next season when he's out of contract. Sandro is gone, Danilo not getting younger. You have Bremer, you have Gatti, and who else? So it's a weird situation, and I have no idea how that backline is going to shape up. This season, I know, but the following years. So that's why I'm like, just add that buyback option if possible. And it's possible, Genoa will accept that. They will, because they have no other choice, But apparently it's not happening. So 10 million euros for that as well. So that's about 40 million euros in total, you can collect from these players almost. And two of them are never coming back, hopefully, which is good, because you don't need to deal with that every single summer. But yeah, we're still waiting on the big one. I'm not going to talk about Lukaku Vlahovic because there's no update at all. Like, you don't need to believe Corriere dello Sport Media said, was a Fabio Paganini. That's not even sources at that point. They're recycling, they're making stuff up. Just wait and see what it will be. Now let's end with the Thomas Partey one, because Tuttosport is saying the asking price of more than 20 million euros is too high, according to Juve. And I agree. I tweeted this out and Arsenal fans went off, because I rate their fan base, because they have no shame. They are irrelevant as a club for almost, 20 years. I don't know when the last league title was they won. Maybe 15, 16, 17 years. And somehow they think they are the big dogs, because they finished second last season. They think they're all that. You haven't won anything, over 4 or 5 years, nobody's going to remember you finished second. Nobody's going to care you won some FA Cups. Win the big trophies, if not, or participate like consistently on winning the big trophies, or actually shut up. But they don't, and they invaded the suite, and the quotes were hilarious, because apparently they want 40, 50, 60 million, and they're that serious for a player pushing 30, or is 30, injury prone, big time on big money, off the field stuff that's disgusting, and that's it. Like, I don't know what the price, like, they are diluted, keep him. Like, I'm actually happy that we are broke. Like, we are broke. It is what it is. They're right. We have no money. In this moment in time, we're in a bad situation as a club for obvious reasons. Reasons we created by ourselves, by the way. But it's a good thing because I don't want Thomas Partey at the club. I don't want Timothy Castagne. I don't wanted Cassier. Like, I don't want Home. Like, I don't want the Freuler. Like, a good thing we are broke at this moment in time, because like, we are really broke that we cannot get players for 10 to 50 million. And actually, I'm sitting here and be like, that's a good thing, because if that's the players you actually want to get, play with what you have, save that money, get it right on track, and then spend the money you actually need to spend. Don't waste a single penny on players like Thomas Partey, who are going to be out 50% of the season. And when they plays, he has 10, 15 good games, and towards the end of the season, he looks terrible every single time. Just no, like, it's not a deal. What we need to do, let it go. Let him go to the Saudi league. Let him stay at Arsenal. Like, I couldn't care less. We have players in that position, young players, not 30-year-old, not on 5 or 6 million euros, which is ridiculous. So I saw that news and I was like, good, like, good. And yeah, I hope it stops there, because I don't want Thomas Partey at the club. So, but that's that. That's basically the update. It's all about selling again, but actually, still nothing officially. So, and the Vlahovic Lukaku deal, I predict it will go on for a while. So, let's see how that will go. But that's it for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that bell notification. I will be back live on Sunday. So check me out on Sunday. I'll be out tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for watching and see you guys.